Happy Wednesday, guys. Welcome to today's episode of the Trish Lynn Show. We have a impromptu episode today. Not really impromptu, but our guest had to cancel. I'm at a loss for words. There you go. Our guest had to cancel, so it took me a little bit to decide what I actually wanted to come on here and talk with you guys about today. But something that I've been noticing as I do a lot of social media audits in my business is there are 4 key elements that I look for to help see growth. And these are the pieces that I work through with my clients to see your growth on social media. And I wanted to cover those today with you guys so that, well, if there's something missing, maybe this will help you. This is going to be a shorter episode today, but once Instagram's done notifying everyone that we're live, hopefully, it doesn't take too long. I don't know how long it actually takes, but I'm going to get started anyways. So the 4 elements, the 4 key elements that I look for are the 4 C's. I call them the 4 C's. They are clarity, confidence, connection, and consistency. And these are the pieces that really do elevate your business to that next level, because if you're not following through with these, chances are you're not seeing the results. Clarity is number 1. I do a lot of social media audits, and the one thing that I do recognize is there is a lack of clarity on who your target market is, who that target client is, who that ideal client is. If you don't know who it is that you are looking to work with and support, none of your messaging, none of your programs, none of your services are going to reach that person because you are not clear on who that person is. And in that person is not going to be clear on you are the person for them. So really knowing who it is you support, how you support them, what it is that you do, and who you are. A lot of the times, these are the pieces that I go on and look for, and I don't see them. So if I can't see it by landing on your social media page, why, thank you. If I can't see that by landing on your social media page, how is your ideal client going to know what it is, who you are, what you do, and how you can help them? So really having that clarity on those pieces and keeping it aligned across the board, across your social media platforms, because what I have also noticed is I can go to someone's Facebook page and it is different from their Instagram page. We need everything to be cohesive across the board, or again, your audience, your potential client is going to look at that and see that as a negative thing. Confidence. Actually showing up and owning what it is that you do. Actually showing up and owning how you help your clients. This is a big piece. We often show up in fear because we are scared to say the things we want to say, do the things we want to do, and be that version of ourselves. But we are here for impact. When you are here for impact, and this is something that I have said to myself, and I still say to myself all of the fucking time, okay? My impact is greater than my fear. Let that be your mantra. My impact is greater than my fear. It takes confidence and courage to keep showing up every single day, doing the thing that you want to do to create the impact that you want to make. If you second guess yourself, if you don't hit post because of fear of the unknown, of what could potentially be said, you're not going to be making that impact. And it doesn't matter what you do. Someone is always going to have a problem with something. People do, right? And it's moving forward despite that. My thought process with this is, you know you've made enough noise when the haters come out. When those trolls come out, you know you're making enough noise because you're being seen and heard. And that's when you keep going. So clarity, confidence, connection. Your audience is full of potential buyers. If it's not, then there's a problem with your messaging. That goes back to clarity. But your audience is full of potential buyers that you need to build a connection with. So how do you build that connection? We all know the like, no trust factor. Sharing your story, being authentic, not just showing a highlight reel. Actually building connections with the people who take the time to like your work, to comment on your work. If you are putting a post out there, a piece of content out there, and someone takes a moment of their day to comment, that is an opportunity for you to start a conversation. Build that connection, because even if it is not that person who needs your work, they may know someone who does. And now you've just taken a moment to actually build that connection with this human who has taken their time to comment on your content. And they're going to remember that. And they might say, oh, I don't need this, but I know someone who does. I'm going to bring this back to me, obviously, in my work for a second, but I do a lot of networking because for me, it's spreading awareness on the work that I do. And 90% of the time, 95% of the time in these networking meetings, the women that I work with are not in these meetings, but 100% of the time, there is one person who says, I know someone who needs to talk with you. Without fail. So building those connections, being authentic to who you are. One, authenticity shines. When you are authentic, you are shining in such a brighter light. You are not trying to be someone else, which is exhausting. So you show up with a more radiant energy. I do have notes, obviously. And now I've lost where I was because I went on a very big tangent. But yeah, so building a like, no trust factor, building that connection, showcasing your expertise, building, all of the things that come together. I often get told I'm really easy to talk to, I'm really easy to open up to. It's because I share from my authentic story. I can't change the events that happen to me, but I can share those events to help empower other women to see that, one, they're not alone, and two, that there is a way through this. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. There is another side. And just from me being confident enough to share my story now, it did take a healing process because you don't want to share from an open wound. You want to share from a healed space. It did take a bit of time, but now I am building so many more connections because I get to authentically share my story, who I am, what I have been through, what I've experienced, and how I am using that. Last but not least, we have consistency. Two things about consistency. One, your potential clients want to see that you can be consistent for your business, that you are consistently showing up for your work. If you are not showing up for your business every single day, it doesn't have to be every single day. We'll get to that after part two. Point two. But if you are not showing up every single day for your business, are you going to show up for your clients? that's something that they're going to look for. That's something that they want to see. And 2, the algorithm loves consistency. It might take, the Instagram algorithm is funny, but, so for me, niching down into this more specific space has taken a couple months for the algorithm to pick up on what it is I'm doing, what it is I'm talking about, and now starting to push it out to the right people. In those couple months, I had moments where I'm like, well, what is the fucking point? And if I've had those moments, I know you guys have had those moments. And you have to keep going because the algorithm then picks up that consistency, and next thing you know, your reels are just flying off because it's now reaching who it needs to reach. The algorithm loves consistency. So then you need to look at, what does that consistency look like for you? If that consistency is 5 days a week, then you post Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. If that consistency for you is 3 days a week, then you look at Monday, Wednesday, Friday. But it's what can you stay consistent with? Because if you can't stay consistent, then the algorithm is not going to be there to support you, and your audience is going to see that, and they want to see that you can be consistent for them as much as you are consistent for you. So those are the 4 C's, the 4 key elements to actually seeing your growth on social media. Clarity, confidence, connection, consistency. I hope you guys got some value from this episode, and as always, drop your thoughts in the comments. Let me know if this resonated, if there's anything you want me to expand on, or if you have any questions about anything that I said, let me know. Let's have a conversation. I will see you guys back here on Friday for our next episode. Thank you so much for joining me on The Trish Lynn Show.